SABMiller is going to be implementing a marketing penetration strategy. In order for them to do that, they're going to have to address each different functional area independently. The first being the management. Management needs a COO. Every company or organization of this size, this magnitude, in this global scale, they need a COO. It's imperative. The COO is going to help assist the CEO in many ways. They're going to be the main reporting head that all the other department heads will be talking to, as well as making sure that all operations are running smoothly. They're all operating in accordance to their plan or their vision, which means that the COO is going to need and to incorporate a mission and vision statement with the assistance of the other managers and all the other departments and with as much input as it can, but to create a mission and vision statement. This company needs that for the morale of its own employees, but also for the customers, the potential investors, to see the ethics, the morals, where the company sees itself at now, and also where it's going to see itself in the future, see where they're going to. That's going to be very important for potential investors for the SABMiller Corporation. Now, the next department that's going to need to be addressed is the production department. The production department is going to go and see with the marketing strategy, what do they expect to sell more of? What do they expect to see increase as well as decrease? And using that, they're going to be able to determine how they need to adjust or restructure their production lineup. Do they need to add new employees? Do they need to let some go? Do they need to let some of the assets of the machinery go that are no longer going to be needed for the intended production line? Also, what they're going to need to do is be able to allocate the raw materials and resources needed to produce the intended product line that's expected to have a growth in production. They're going to need to check with their resource providers to make sure they can obtain these resources from these providers, and if not, they need to search out other optional providers to ensure they do have the appropriate amount of resources available. They'll need to then report this to the accounting and finance department so they can understand and see what are going to be the needs of the production line as far as revenue and fund-wise. Which leads to the next department. It's going to be the accounting and the finance. The accounting and finance kind of coincide with one another. They kind of lean on each other. So the accounting department is going to be addressing where the funds are coming from, like what fund they're going to be coming from, and also what they're going to be applied to. How are they going to be able to budget these different this revenue coming in that finance will be allocating, and how they're going to disperse it amongst the different needed marketing strategy departments. Now, the finance is going to decide how to raise and increase revenue. Do they need to sell stock? Do they need to get rid of assets? Do they need to gain more assets? They're going to decide how the money is going to come into the company to implement the strategy. They're going to do that by reviewing the ratio analysis and seeing where the strengths and weaknesses are. See where they can pull resources and revenue from. See where they need to address that. Also, they might be creating a sub problem in the company's financial statements itself. Now, the next department is going to be the marketing department. Now, with it being a marketing penetration strategy, obviously marketing is going to play a vital role in that. Now, for the marketing department, they're going to see what it is that the consumers are wanting, what they're needing. And in this case, they're needing to be more aware, to see the products better. How can they do this? Change in appearance. A simple change of logo, a change of different types of cans that might represent the seasonal trends, or they might represent a local sporting team, the national team. In the U.S., it might be an NFL team that's related to New Orleans Saints or the Atlanta Falcons, and having specialty cans for those specific teams, or a seasonal can for the wintertime or for the fall time with a kind of a seasonal theme to it. Now, that can be one way to market out and get acknowledgement from the consumers. How they're going to advertise, though, is going to be through the social media channels. Social media is everywhere. Everyone's on it, and everyone's on it all day. If you want to market and you want consumers to see your product, social media is the number one way to get your consumers to see your product. They will see it more there than they will on the on the TV, on the radio, and the newspaper. They're going to see it on social media. How often do you see somebody checking their Facebook, checking Twitter, checking Instagram? People are on it constantly. Some people never get off, and they're going to see this product line that you're introducing, this alternative imagery on the cans. And the marketing is going to also decide how to use social media with celebrity figures to quote unquote endorse their products, showing the new imagery on the can with a celebrity holding it, getting the image out there and let others see it that way too. Marketing also is going to need to determine how much funds are going to be needed to implement with this new marketing strategy of using social media and creating the software, and if they'll need to hire new employees to help control the output of the social media aspect. The next department to be addressed is going to be the research and development. Research and development is going to be the brains of creating the imagery on the can, or creating the theme on the cans. Whether it can be a sporting team logo, a seasonal trend with pumpkins, Christmas time, Christmas trees, Santa Claus, all that kind of good stuff. They're going to be able to do that. It's going to get their attention because it's going to be, the consumers will see it and it's going to be different. They're not going to realize what it is at first. They won't know it's SABMiller, but it's going to get their attention and they'll see it. Like, oh, okay, this is a SABMiller product. So difference stands out, and standing out is good. It gets the consumer's attention. You don't want the consumer just to walk by and it's the same can they've seen for the past 30 years. Next department to be addressed is going to be the Human Resources Manager. Now, the Human Resources Manager is going to make sure that all the new hires and all the current employees are abiding to all the policies and standards that the company holds itself to. However, they're also going to make sure that the companies are abiding by the different policies, and this can even mean if the employees are releasing sensitive data to outsiders, potential competitors. They're going to be monitoring the employees' social media pages to see who they're, in relation to with. I mean, like how are they in relation to some of the inside partners of a competitor firm? And if they're releasing information that could be potentially harmful to the success of SABMiller, they need to watch and monitor all of that. That's going to be a vital part of human resources management. Now, the next department is going to be the Management Information System. The Management Information System is a computer software network system that's going to help all the executive levels create more proper, very definite decisions that are going to make quotes and everything become more attainable. Obstacles won't seem as large anymore because they're going to understand all the different aspects that could possibly throw you off path. They're going to use these to create their goals and to educate the other department head leaders on what's the best strategy in relation to the statistics that are being shown and for how the company's been performing, which is another vital aspect. The Management Information System will continuously update the performance of the different departments and showing their production levels with the marketing strategy implementation. The final aspect to be addressed is the legal aspect. Now, legal will need to be represent the companies in all legal matters. Make sure the company is going to be following the government regulations and be in compliance with federal, local, and state laws to make sure everything's the way it should be. Any possible leases, contracts, agreements are all signed and dotted, and make sure all legal matters are put in the books and are accurate.